So I know it's weird that like in one of the first vlogs that we're ever doing, I'm doing a paid speaking opportunity, and that's really just a byproduct of more than 2 years ago on a lark. I went to a thing where I pitched my podcast at a Carnegie Library event, and I did a decent enough job that they wanted to have me back and come in for an update and teach as a part of their side hustle series. So this isn't normal. This isn't usually how you would start a business like that, and it's really just pure luck on my end that they reached out to me to come do this. But it's a cool, like, to even film it and have that on record is pretty exciting.
So now I just want to introduce our speakers. We have Wes Roberts. He is the manager of the Job and Career Education Center, and he'll be moderating the discussion tonight. We have Aaron Watson, who will be speaking about podcasting. Brad Driscoll is going to talk about YouTube and Twitch. Rita Botts, who is a CLP librarian, but will also be talking about Airbnb. And Rachel Mazzalamini, who is also a CLP librarian at a downtown business location. And she's going to talk about some of the resources that they can offer.
So as I mentioned, I'm Aaron Watson. I host a podcast called Going Deep with Aaron Watson. It has more than 280 episodes. It's been downloaded in more than 120 countries. For those unfamiliar with podcasting, it's on-demand audio. My show takes the form of 30-minute interviews with people from a broad range of industries and backgrounds. We have entrepreneurs, we have writers, folks in the nonprofit space, different coaches. And really what I'm exploring is really in line with what this series is about, is a lot of the people who are in the most interesting careers, who have the titles and the credentials that a lot of people aspire to or look up to, do not follow a conventional path. It often started as a side hustle or started as a passion project. And speaking with the people who've found their way into these interesting careers is the story that I love telling and sharing with my audience.
Hi, I'm Brad Driscoll, and I've had a couple side hustles going through my life, and I always played video games. So growing up, my parents got me an Atari when I was 4, and Nintendo when I was 6, and I always loved playing video games. Decided to go to school for electrical engineering, and while I was in college, my side hustle was I learned to write scripts in video games that would have my character walk around, farm up money, and then I'd click a button when I went to class, come back, and it would have a bunch of money, and I could sell it on eBay. After I graduated, I was working in EE for a little bit, and I started getting into YouTube. And after a little while, I started going out to flea markets, thrift stores, and basically I'd be going out and getting video games for deals and record the footage, post it on YouTube. And once I started doing that, I found that there were a ton of people that were really interested in that, and started getting a lot of people on YouTube. Ended up, I'm just below like 10 million views now. And then I switched careers over into coding, and once I did that, I switched over to a website called twitch.tv.
So I'll stand up too, just so I can see everybody. One thing I would really hammer home for everyone here is if you're in a situation where you need to make money, starting a podcast is not the best way to go about doing that. Think about something like podcasting in the longer term, where you're building a brand and you're also building a skill set around audio production, around social media, around storytelling that is going to serve you well in the long term. One of the stats that I cite often is that 50% of podcasts in existence do not reach their 7th episode. People find it difficult, or there isn't enough audience, and they give up and quit. Of that other 50% that complete more than 7 episodes, 50% of that group don't make it to episode 23. So just by making it to episode 24, you are in the top quartile of all podcasts in existence. A lot of things that are worth having, the most important thing is to just continue and to persist. The same way Brad continued when he was getting 20 or 50 views. I was at a point where I was getting, 40 downloads for an episode that spent me an hour to research, an hour to record, an hour to edit, an hour to put the show notes together, and I was spending money to put up. That doesn't feel good. It's really, really easy in a moment like that to say, why the heck am I doing this, and want to quit or want to shut it down. But it is because of that persistence and also iterating on my skill set associated with podcasting, becoming a better interviewer, becoming better at setting up the mics so that the sound quality wasn't complete crap, writing better show notes, understanding where to share and distribute the show so that it would actually gain traction, whether that's a specific Reddit subreddit or two specific people on Twitter chat. There's a bunch of ways that you can learn this distribution technique, but you're never gonna have all of that perfected episode 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes that persistence and iterating on your approach to actually reach a point where you're worthy of having an audience. People bring a lot of ego into content creation because whether it's a parent telling you how amazing you are the whole time you grow up, or just our natural ego as we live as humans, it's really easy to think that your conversation, your picture, your video is just the coolest thing ever. But everyone who puts their stuff out knows that. I don't know what the data is on how many hours of YouTube footage get uploaded every second, but it's something insane. Everybody thinks that their story is like the story, and you have to have the humility not only to persist through the tough times, but to also put in the work to improve your output, given that it's so competitive.
Question for Aaron. Once you've built at least kind of a base fan base, if you will, what do you think are some best practices to get further noticed by people who maybe wouldn't necessarily ordinarily come to your particular show?
So one of the toughest things with podcasts in general is discovery and search. You have three basic forms of communication: written, video, and audio. Audio is where I'm playing, and audio is actually the hardest. So YouTube is a fantastic search engine. Blogs are combed for every word on the page, but organizing your shows in a way that someone new can find what would be relevant to them has been the most important thing I've done. So on my website, there's multiple pages. One is the top shows. So these are like the biggest name people that you have the highest likelihood of knowing and being like, wow, I can't believe Aaron had Tucker Max, the author of I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, or someone like that on the show. And then there's sub pages by category. So I have a Pittsburgh page, and those are all the big names in Pittsburgh that you might know. I have a blockchain page. So I have the biggest people in the crypto space that you might know. I have a sales page. You understand how it's kind of breaking apart like that, and meeting people where they are with your content is another really big part of it. One of the things that really works well on YouTube is actually like keyword searching, finding common keywords and then naming your videos that way. There's similar practices around podcasting that can work, but it's just making it as easy for someone new to not get overwhelmed or lost in your content.
I wanted to know if you had thought of selling your services to other people. I teach at Point Park University, and I do a lot of online classes, and that's actually why I'm here for doing business plans. I know what content I want to deliver, but I'm not really good at perhaps doing it myself.
Absolutely. So Hannah and I are we literally just co-founded a company called Piper Creative. That's Hannah with the camera over there. Everyone wave hi. Where we have three service offerings. We have Instagram account building, running a podcast, and then what she's doing right now, which we're calling documentary as a service, which is if you are an entrepreneur, if you're building some sort of business, having that documented, what the process is, and not necessarily being responsible for the actual creation of the content. So whether you're CEO, venture capitalist, whatever, that's a valuable service. So we're thinking on the same wavelength. What's your call to action?
What I say anyway is tell your friends, family, like, subscribe, leave comments. I even say trolls welcome because I even welcome the ones that say.
So what I would say is condense it down to one. When you give 5 call to actions, it's effectively no call to actions because it's like, that's too much, right? But so one thing that I did early on was we did a conversation about a specific topic. So I'm just going to make one up for you. We talked about dating in today's episode. If you know someone who's struggling with this type of dating issue, pass this along to them. Or in my end, if you know someone who wants to get involved in the nonprofit space and is looking to learn about innovative ways to do nonprofit work, pass this episode along to them. Cool. Good luck, man. Nice to meet you, Moses. Hello.
Hi, I'm Patty.
Nice to meet you, Patty.
Nice to meet you too. So, you kind of got me thinking.
Got some good stuff?
Think so. Success. A lot of good questions.
Yeah.
The one question in particular seemed
like a plan,
planted for us where it wasn't. But yeah, what did you think of the questions you got?
It was good. I mean, it's clearly something people are interested in. What we're basically doing with our services are playing to people's egos because they want to be able to tell their story. They want to be able to have attention on whatever it is that they're doing. And if you can understand how to do that, it's really, really powerful.
I agree. Sweet. So, good first official day working together.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.